Welcome, welcome, welcome. And to all who are watching, enter if you dare.
The Pentagon's Pursu Files. Full narration script, The Archivist, Blood-Curdling Chronicles, #21. On August 7, 2026, the United States Department of War released 41 government files it had kept sealed for decades. Not conspiracy blog files. Not leaked files. Official files, stamped, logged, and handed over by the Pentagon, the FBI, and the CIA. Inside them, infrared footage of a black sphere hovering motionless in restricted airspace, a silent, 500-foot triangle that blotted out the stars over an active war zone, and sworn accounts from trained military and intelligence professionals who watched things move in ways nothing man-made is supposed to move. This isn't speculation. It isn't a grainy phone video from a stranger online. It's the United States government, on the record, handing the public files it fought for decades to keep locked away. I'm the Archivist, and tonight, I'm opening a case file the government itself just unsealed. Direct address to camera. Here's what you need to understand before we go further. In May of 2026, the Department of War quietly launched something called Pursu, the Presidential Unsealing and Reporting System for UAP encounters. Its job is simple, at least on paper. Release the videos, documents, and reports the government has been sitting on regarding unidentified anomalous phenomena. Or, in plain language, UFOs. Since May, there have been 5 separate releases, arriving roughly every 3 to 5 weeks. No end date, no sign of stopping. Each batch pulls from the holdings of the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO for short, the agency created specifically to investigate these cases and decide what the public gets to see. For years, AARO's public reports insisted there was no evidence of anything exotic. But behind closed doors, the office was reportedly sitting on dozens of videos lawmakers didn't even know existed. Until they started asking, in writing, for an itemized list. And the 5th batch, dropped on August 7th, is the one people can't stop talking about. Let's start with the oldest account in the batch. A US military pilot, flying over Bagram Airfield in Afghanistan in 2002, reported something that doesn't fit in any training manual. A massive, silent, triangular object, roughly 500 feet across, passing overhead. No engine sound, no exhaust. No lights except for what the pilot described as a faint, even glow along its edges. It was large enough, the report states, to blot out the stars behind it as it passed. Now, fast forward. Among the newly released files is thermal video showing 2 slow-moving objects, described in the official reports as black-hot infrared anomalies, a term used when something reads colder than its surroundings on thermal cameras, which is its own kind of unsettling. The footage was captured by U.S. government personnel during active operations. 2 separate special agents, independently corroborated. Then there's the civilian account, a private citizen in the western United States who reported 3 separate sightings within a 5-hour window on the same night in the same stretch of sky. When investigators followed up by phone, they didn't get a story that fell apart under questioning. They got a second, independent witness at the same location, describing the same series of events, unprompted. 2 people, 2 separate phone interviews, 1 shared account of watching something in the sky, do things neither of them could explain. Here's where the official story gets harder to hold on to. The August 7th release also included a 2025 clip showing an orb racing over a populated Middle East city in broad daylight. Visible, apparently, to people on the ground, not just a sensor thousands of feet up. And enhanced imagery, sharpened well beyond what was previously public, showing objects maneuvering low over rugged terrain in ways that defy standard aircraft physics. Instant direction changes, no visible means of propulsion, no acknowledged origin. The Department of War isn't calling any of this proof of anything exotic. Officially, the position is still unidentified, a term doing an enormous amount of work. But when you stack the pilot's 2002 account, the thermal black-hot anomalies, the corroborated civilian sightings, and the 2025 city footage together, you get a pattern that spans more than 2 decades, and multiple independent witnesses who never met each other. That's not one strange night. That's a recurring encounter happening to trained observers on the record for over 20 years. And it's worth sitting with who these witnesses actually are. Not hobbyists, not people looking for online attention, combat pilots, government sensor operators, sworn intelligence personnel whose careers depend on accurate, boring, unembellished reporting. These are, by training and by temperament, the least likely people on Earth to see something that isn't there. Picture the moment the sensor operator behind that thermal footage realized what they were looking at. Two objects, reading cold against the desert heat, moving with a slow, deliberate control that doesn't match wind, doesn't match debris, doesn't match any aircraft on the registry for that airspace. No transponder, no flight plan, no explanation offered in real time. Just two trained government agents, watching, recording, and reporting exactly what the camera was showing them because that's the job. Not to explain it, just to document it and pass it up the chain. That footage sat in a government file for years before anyone outside a small, cleared circle ever saw it. It only exists in the public record now because a sitting member of Congress pushed, in writing, for its release, and the Department of War, for the first time in generations, said yes. So, where does that leave us? The Department of War maintains there's no confirmed evidence of exotic technology. No smoking gun, no crashed craft, no alien handshake. But they've also now released 5 full tranches of previously sealed material in under a year, spanning incidents from the 1950s all the way through 2026. And they've said, on the record, that more releases are coming, with no end date attached. Lawmakers pushing for disclosure say this is only the beginning, that dozens more videos are already logged and waiting for review, with at least one representative publicly confirming a review of over 40 additional clips still queued for release. Which means the honest answer, the one nobody in a suit will say out loud on camera, is this. The United States government has spent decades quietly collecting encounters just like these, from trained witnesses who have absolutely nothing to gain from lying. And it is still collecting them. Right now, while this video is uploading. Here's what unsettles me most about this case file. It isn't a blurry cell phone video from someone chasing views. It's cockpit reports, thermal government footage, and sworn statements from professionals whose entire job is not to see things that aren't there. And the government's own declassification process is now handing us the evidence, 5 batches at a time, with a promise that there's more still sitting in the vault. Somewhere in that next release, in a file we haven't seen yet, there may be an answer to a question none of us have quite figured out how to ask. If this one has you looking up at the sky a little differently tonight, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, because every week I open another case file most people never get to see. I'm the Archivist, and I'll see you in the dark.
If you enjoyed this, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to be notified of all of our future videos.